Hello everyone. Namaste. How are you all doing? Gaming with Arav, Shix Zedits, Arjun, and Grin Gaming. Good to see the few of you out here. I see 15 of you live. I was hoping we'd get some more number of you today here, considering it's our final question answer session, our final session together. And you guys can ask me questions, right? So that's why we can be on the same page, get some clarity. You can solve your doubts, things like that. But nonetheless, it's really good to see all of you out here, and I'm sure some of you have questions as well. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm not going to be teaching anything. Today is the day I'm going to be looking at the chat box. So she said it's sub, sir, sub to you as well. It's good to see you. I am hoping that you'll have some good questions for me as well, also regarding the procedure and things like that. So you guys can use the chat box and you can shoot away your questions. I'm all ears for all of you. Okay. So, guys, to be honest, we are not keeping position papers in this year's conference. Okay. I'm going to be expanding the ROP to incorporate that in the future. But for this year, I'm not keeping the position papers. We will see how to go about it in the future. Considering many first timers here, I don't want to complicate things outside the conference and rather have everybody in the committee having their discussions and deliberations to begin with. After which, in the next conferences that we can work on together, we can explore having a position paper. So this is what my thought process is. And my idea is also that every year to expand the procedure, add new kind of tools, interesting ones, like how we have presidential statement, how we have question answer session, challenge. So next time there will be some new tools and new interesting things that will be there, in the procedure as well. One of them will of course be your position papers too. The other gaming guy is like, how could we yield when we have time left? Very simple. Once you finish with your general speaker's speech, you probably say thank you for your kind attention, dear delegates. I would like to yield the remainder of my time to one of the three options, which are either to what do you call that, to the chairperson, to comments, or to questions. That is entirely up to you. So simply, once you finish speaking in your GSL, just say thank you all delegates for your kind attention and yield your time in the best way you'd prefer to. Can you explain about the rules of that point of, you mean the points? Arjun, are you referring to points? You want me to explain the points? Point of information, point of order, things like that? Fantastic. So there are 4 points, Arjun. There are 4 points. The first point is point of personal privilege. What does this mean? Point of personal privilege is essentially when you're facing any kind of grievance, any kind of issue. You can't hear someone, you want to use the washroom, mom is calling on the other end, whatever the reason may be. Point of personal privilege is to basically get an excuse, during your committee sessions in case you're facing any personal grievance. It's the only point that can interrupt a speaker. The second point is point of information. Point of information basically means if there is a delegate who is giving false information, is lying, and you know that delegate is giving false information, lying, and trying to convince the committee, then what you can do is you can raise your placard and say point of information that what this delegate has said right now is false, and basically because it is false, you have to prove, like if you're going to accuse saying that this is false, you need to even prove the fact that what do you call it, that the information that person has shared is false. It's not that you can just point a finger at somebody like that saying no, this information is not correct. You need to provide credible evidence, credible source of information as well. That is very, very important. Then you have point of parliamentary inquiry. Again, much required for all of you, much required for all of you, because maybe it is your first time and you might get a little confused on what topics you want to, what you want to introduce in committee. So whenever you face any kind of issue with say using this rules of procedure, very simply raise your placard, say point of parliamentary inquiry, chairperson, vice chairperson will recognize you, and you can go and get them addressed there as well. So basically, if you are confused about any point in the rules of procedure during your committee sessions on Friday and Saturday, Don't hesitate or don't think twice to raise your placards, a point of parliamentary inquiry, and share your thought with your executive board member, your chairperson at large. So these are the 3 points that are essentially the important ones that are basically there in the rules of procedure, which you'd like me to explain to you. Moving on to the next question. Moving on to the next question. What do you do? So how do we start a debate? Okay, I'm just going to go in order. Rihanna has asked me, so what can we do in the debate sessions or the question answer sessions? So, in the question answer session, it's a type of motion. Motion means I want to do XYZ things, I want to initiate ABC things. So, Rihanna, what happens in a question answer session is other delegates can question a particular delegate in the committee. So, say for example, I'm the country USA, okay, and we are discussing Israel Palestine. All the other countries are wanting to ask me questions saying why I'm involved in Israel Palestine crisis, why am I trying to help Israel in particular, what is the foundation of my relationship with the country Israel. So if there is a delegate in your committee that you feel that you and other people in the committee want to ask questions to about what they're doing, then you can open this motion called motion to open a question answer session. This will go through the informal vote. Then if you are the one who has initiated this, then you can choose whether you want to what do you call that ask the first question or you want to ask the last question. Like moderated caucus, always go last. Don't be in a hurry and try to go first. So this is when it comes to your question answer session. Sir, how do we start a debate? It starts naturally. You come in your classroom, you sit down in your committee, you give your attendance, you start with GSL, and in between your GSL, the chairperson will repeat one robotic statement, any points or motions on the floor. Then you raise the motions and points that you feel like, that you feel that would bring value proposition to the committee and would help take the discussions of the committee forward. So this is how essentially debate starts. It's quite natural. It's a very practical experience. So like when you and all the other delegates of your committee kind of meet, in your classroom for the first time, it becomes a lot like lot more natural as such, because of how you are researching on your country. Maybe your school friend who is participating as your school delegate is not researching on the same this thing now, is not researching on the same topic as you, maybe in other committee, but inside your committee people are there who have research like you. So when you'll all meet, the debate happens quite naturally, to be honest with you. So, Rihanna gives me a follow up question. If we cannot answer the question, ideally you should be able to answer the question, Rihanna. And if you can't, you can request the chairperson. May I have a few minutes to get my paperwork in order and answer the question? After a few minutes, you can request the chairperson. Then chairperson will give you time. You can go on Google and you can search for whatever question has been asked and what needs to be answered, and get your facts and information and data right. So yeah, you can tell the chairperson, I need a few minutes to answer this question, and take a few minutes to go on the internet and figure it out. Suvecha Ja, while yielding to questions, do we have to finish answering questions in the remaining amount of time, 90 seconds, or do we get extra time for that? Sorry about that. So regarding the question answer session, I think about 60 to 70 seconds is sufficient to answer a question. Like delegates are able to ask you only one question, right? So that one question, one answer should not take you more than 30, 40 seconds as such. So don't worry too much about the timing aspect of answering questions. I think about a minute should be fine per question. WTAH Africa says, can you explain formal moderated caucus? First of all, there's nothing formal moderated caucus. It is just moderated caucus. And what it is a detailed discussion on the subtopic of your agenda. What I told you in the first session, go to Chat GPT, type the agenda that you are discussing in your committee, and ask them to suggest you 10 moderated caucus topics. Okay, ask Chat GPT to do that. Moderated caucus is like your chapters of your textbook. You have your history book, correct? Inside your history book you have multiple what do you say, topics of discussion, multiple subjects, multiple like what do you say, modules or chapters. Each chapter that you study is a moderated caucus. So you break down your agenda, which is so vast, right? When you talk about social media and mental health, it is such a vast agenda. There's so many factors to it. When you talk about Israel-Palestine crisis, it's such a vast agenda. So many topics to it. When you talk about technology and AI and its global impact, again, so many vast aspects to it. You have to break it down into different subtopics, and these subtopics are discussed in detail through what you call a moderated caucus, which is a type of motion. So whenever there is like a detailed discussion you'll want to get into some topic, raise your placard, say motion to open a moderated caucus, whatever that topic may be, whatever that sub agenda, sub issue may be, and initiate your discussions on it. Like every other motion, it goes to informal voting. So depending on majority, either it will pass or it will fail. Sorry, I have just a slight bit of cold. Still getting used to the winters here. Moving forward, what should you do when someone targets you? Devanshi, sounds like you are in the FBI or CIA when you say someone targets you. I don't think anyone's going to, like, yeah, I mean, depending on country you're representing, people will target you. Like in Israel-Palestine crisis, Israel-Palestine are going to be like big targets, no doubt about it. But it's actually a good thing. You defend yourself, you represent yourself, you protect yourself, and you speak out for yourself. That is what you do when someone targets you. In case someone is, giving you any, like, going, see, as long as it's debate, discussion, deliberation, and communication regarding the agenda, then it's not really targeting, right? It's more like debating and discussing. You're involved. What do you do? So yeah, represent yourself and speak out and don't think twice. Just a moment. Sir, how do we start our working papers? So, working papers are basically the solutions of your moderated caucus. So, you are discussing a detailed subtopic, first chapter of your history textbook in moderated caucus, first subtopic of your big vast agenda, the solution to that first subject, that solution to that first chapter, that solution to your moderated caucus topic is essentially what you call a working paper. I'm just going to share my screen and make you have a look at what a working paper should be like. If you could just give me uno momento, I will have it for you right now. Yep, here it is. Where did my live go? Working paper. Yep, here we are. So this is what a working paper looks like. You have working paper 2.0 and you need to have just the agenda. You don't need to have all this. What is written out here? No, author signatories, forget about it. Just write working paper 2.0, 3.0, coolest working paper in the world, whatever you want to name it. Write the name of your committee, which you're representing, write the name of your agenda and the sub agenda. Then, like I told you, in simple point one, point two, point three, point four, point five, you can note down your different, what do you call that, solutions to the topics that you have. Like, for examples, here we're talking about internally displaced persons, so basically when say for example, when our in our country Nepal, we had the 2007 earthquakes, right? So many people got displaced, from their homes, from their cities, from so many places. So this is the solution. This is the issues that are being faced, which what we've discussed in the moderated caucus. We have recognized all the problems. There's no funds in some regions. There is low plain nations being threatened by coastlines or submerged because of climate change. There is different issues. So we need greater involvement of or regional organizations should have potential to succeed and give more support. We must endorse sub-regional organization in lower, in smaller towns to gain larger funds for themselves to deal with these different situations. We should have initiative for collaborative of countries to work together towards these, mitigations and donations and humanitarian aid, should also be there. So like that, these come naturally to you. You just see the format of it. There's a completely different agenda, right? So what you do, what you essentially do is you how do you say it? Just write it in simple points, and all those points need not be given by you, right? It's not necessary that you have to provide all the points. Everybody collectively gives a solution. It's not like a one person's job to write a solution. Everybody gives it together. So this is what your working paper is. I've already answered about position papers. We're not keeping position papers this year. We're going to keep it in the future, but not this year. Will there be any session tomorrow? Yes, there is going to be a lovely, lovely, lovely inauguration ceremony. We have called some very, very special people. There are three unique, diverse, amazing personalities that are going to come and speak with you, coupled with some dance and entertainment and intellect. But that's a surprise. I don't want to reveal it. I want all of you all to meet and greet each other, hang out, relax as we speak. There's a setup going on, lovely, beautiful tent, lovely stage. All of us going to meet, even a photo booth. So it's going to be lovely. So I'll see you tomorrow, Arjun. It's going to be an amazing, amazing session. How should we start our GSL speech? CEO asked me. Frankly, candidly, like, of course, exchange some pleasantries, like, in the start, like salutations, like greetings everyone, greetings with the fellow delegates of the United Nations Security Council or UNESCO, um, being the delegate of so and so country. This is my stance. These are the different few things my country has been doing. These are the things that we look forward to doing in a life, and how you look forward to working with like-minded countries to and ideologies to match the growth and progress of your country as well, also regarding the situation. So this is how you start your GSL speech. Gaming guy, GCL, I don't know what GCL is. There is nothing like GCL in my opinion. How long do speeches have to be? Asked Adit. Adit, it depends, right? I mean, if you want to give, you have maximum of 90 seconds. Maximum of 90 seconds is what you have when it comes to a speech. You can even finish it before 90 seconds. And then there are different timings, right? Your moderated caucus can be up to 1 minute, can even be 30 seconds. You decide it. I don't decide it. You guys, as a committee as a whole, decide it. Arjun says GSL, not GCL, it's GSL. Okay. GSL is what? General speakers list. Introductory stance on the topic. Basically, am I for, against, or neutral in this agenda, in the situation, is the only thing you need to communicate in the GSL primarily. Apart from that, you have few minutes left. You can emphasize on one, two important points that your country believes in. But apart from that, don't get into details and details in your GSL. Share your stand, share your position, and share your intention as a country. That is what you need to do. It may be one or two examples. I think that should, be sufficient for about 60 to 70 seconds at best, after which you could yield your time. At what time you have to arrive tomorrow? Arun, I have sent a mail to all of you, including your teachers as well, about your time of arrival tomorrow. I am going to just repeat it once again as well. Everybody needs to arrive tomorrow by 3 p.m. 3 to 3:30, we're going to be having our registrations. 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. is going to be your inauguration, and post that will be your dispersal at large from 5:30 to 6. So that should essentially be your what do you call that? Your schedule for tomorrow at large. Post it in the chat box as well too in a few minutes. Don't be sorry, gaming. It's all cool. Himoti Timmy. I did not. She's like, sir, but she never asked me a question. Princey's like, hi, sir. Hi, Princey. Dali, why is ODC study guide so long? Why is UNODC study guide so long, Arun? Is that what you're asking me? So UNODC is quite a complex community actually, as opposed to how simplistic it sounds, the agenda of terrorist and its finance networks, right? So in the UNODC, we're going to be analyzing not just one particular group, right? Like, for example, in Southeast Asia, there are these organizations that are world over, in all different continents. So, I mean, it is so long. And Arun, it's not necessary that you need to read every part of it. Why don't you copy paste it and make it into an audio book and listen to it in case you don't feel like reading so much? I mean, I don't like reading, I'll be honest with you, but I have to keep improving my general knowledge. And everybody has different ways of learning, right? Everybody has different ways of learning in a conference. So in life rather, we have different ways of learning. Some people like to read books, some people like to watch videos, some people like to hear, some people prefer audio videos, some people don't. Some people even listen to music and learn. So see how you're comfortable. Convert the study guide into an audio book and hear it if you don't want to read it. What's the big deal? Do we wear Western formals tomorrow? Yes, Western formals is what the dress code is for tomorrow. Arun's like Samrat Dhakal. Yes, yes. Arun asked me again, why is it so long? Sir, it was not visible. Do we need to read the study guides? 1 minute, huh? Oh, you could not. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I am seeing your chat now that you could not see the this thing. Can you see me? Am I audible now? Am I visible now? Guys? Okay. Sorry, I was not visible earlier. Like I said, I'm going to share the documents with you. Don't worry. Arjun has just spammed the chat. Please don't spam the chat, Arjun. I'll get confused. Why ODC guide is long? Okay. May you say step by step what we will do after entering the conference. Prasanna, step by step, you will take a few steps to the registration counter tomorrow. Give your name. You will get like a ID card, like a lanyard. You write your name out there, and we'll probably give you some light snacks as well because I'm sure you guys will be hungry. After which we will move to the backyard where we've done this lovely setup with some tent and a stage and sound and everything that you need to have a lovely show. We'll go and be seated out there. We'll hang out, take some pictures, and enjoy the entire program we've planned out for you. This is what you're going to be doing step by step after you enter the conference tomorrow. So take it step by step, Prasanna. Let's meet tomorrow, and then from there we'll take it forward. It's going to be amazing. How to start a moderated caucus? Asks Phoenix Underwater. By raising your placard. If you see a rules of procedure, moderated caucus, there is something in italics, right? There's something in italics. Just recite that out, like motion to open a moderated caucus, whatever your subtopic is, and you can choose how much time you want this discussion for and how many speakers can speak in this moderated caucus. It's your choice. So yeah, that's how you start and initiate a moderated caucus. However, just because you are starting it, Phoenix, does not necessarily mean that it does not necessarily mean that everybody is going to be discussing it. It needs to be voted upon through informal voting. If it passes, then yes, else the moderated caucus fails. The chairperson basically gives a repetitive line, right? Any points or motions on the floor, any points or motions on the floor. So when the chairperson makes that statement, any points or motions on the floor, is when you can raise your placard and say, hey, you know what, motion to open a moderated caucus, and go on with whatever you would like to discuss in this as well. Sir, light go, it's black, it's black, it's black, it's black. Sounds racist, but okay. Not visible, not visible, not visible. Okay. You're sure you can see me now, right? Yes, sir, you are visible. Thank you, Parkabeth Hini. I shared my screen. Maybe there must have been some technical issue. So, anyhow, uh, who are they? Who is they? Dali, who are the EBs? EBs is the executive board members. They are the chairpersons. They are the people who are going to what do you call that? How do you say? Moderate you, guide you, mentor you. They're like young, like you and me, but experienced MUN. Like how you are coming first time as MUN or as delegate. They have participated maybe 7, 8 times, and now they are getting experience as chairperson, which is the next step where you become like an adjudicator. Like how you have a speaker in a parliament, Like that, you have executive board members. They are there to mentor you, to guide you, and to ensure that your discussions move in a smooth and sustainable fashion throughout. So that's why they're there, and yeah, they're there to help you. So just think about them as facilitators, as helpers to help you discuss. Arun, can you explain me what you're saying? I think Arun is the one who I'm not understanding what Prasanna's question was. Hi, Siona. Hi, Siona. Do we need to read Phoenix, bro? What do you mean? Do we need to read the study guides? I told you na, that you should, if you don't want to read it, make it an audiobook. But please try to gather as much content, as much as information as possible, so that you guys can kind of have that kind of information to share in committee. So please try to, what do you call that, read the guides or at least hear them. What happens in different sessions in one day? Yash Agrawal, good question. What happens in different sessions? Discussions, debates, deliberations, innovative solutions, working papers, and finally your resolution. This is what happens in the different sessions. You basically continue the discussion. It may seem funny to you now, or how is it, you might question yourself, how is this going to happen? But just like you, Yash, shout as one person in your committee, like that there are people in other committees as well, other schools as well, who are representing countries in your committee. When you'll all meet and all of us start talking to each other about this topic, you will be surprised on how much time you'll actually need for your discussions and deliberations to take place. Pemba Sherpa says, Sir, can you change my community? No, I cannot change your community, neither can I change your committee. So maybe I have given all of you all either your first, second, or third preference. There's not a single delegate in this conference who has not got their preference. So I will not be making any changes. Plus, all your placard orders, conference kits, everything has been shared as well. Arun is complaining that he got extra information. I have never seen such a long guide. Okay, Arun, I will not keep such a long guide in the future. I thought it would be nice if I had more information to share it with you. But clearly, you are having an information overload, so next time I'll not keep such a long one. Again, Pemba's asking me, can you change my community? No. In Superhero Conclave, are we the characters or the delegates of the characters? Very valid question. Chirayu, I've always wondered in life, honestly, why do we speak in third person in an MUN conference? I mean, okay, if you're representing a country as a representative, as a delegate of that country, it makes sense. But how can you be a delegate of a person? Like, how can you be in Vyavasthapika Samsad and say, I'm the delegate of KP Oli, or how can you be a superhero and say, I'm the delegate of Captain America? Doesn't really make sense. So please, I don't think anywhere in the rules of procedure it is mentioned that you cannot use, like pronouns. I mean, you can use it as the delegate, as a representative of, you can use it as when it comes to countries, but if it comes to superhero conclave, I would suggest you to talk in first person because you're role playing, you're not representing in that case. Uh, yeah, now you're visible in school. Yes, I'm in school. Phoenix underwater. I'm in school. I'm in another school, in modern Indian school. Just a second, guys. See, y'all are all chit chatting with each other. Then I cannot find questions to answer, bro. I found. Pemba again said, can I change my community? Pemba, I said once, no. It's everything is fixed. Just go with the flow. It's going to be amazing. You need to trust me on that. ZXT edits us. Sir, in superhero conclave, if we are, for example, Superman, what do we do? So, superhero conclave's all about this fictional war between Marvel and DC. I believe Superman is a DC character. I don't have too much knowledge on it. I am a Harry Potter fan, as some of you all may know. But if you're Superman, then you need to role play yourself as Superman, work with the other people and other superheroes in the DC fraternity, and you are in that that parallel universe, that battlefield which is there in the parallel universe, fighting out the Marvel team out there. So you work with the rest of your DC family and kind of, win the war. Wow, Devanshi Agrawal, I'm super duper proud of you. You have asked an amazing question. How should we defend ourselves if another delegate says something about our country which is true and your country hasn't done anything to fix it? This is the biggest question of diplomacy. This is, you can't really do anything. You just need to I mean change the topic, blame their country for doing something equally bad or something as worse, and challenge the delegate, try to sway them off. Because if you are representing a country that is going to be attacked by, and your country has actually done things to you and to your allies, it is justified. So just because what other person thinks is wrong, that your country has done something wrong, that your country has done, is not necessary that other countries who are your friends will feel the same way about it. So in their eyes it may be wrong, your eyes it is not compulsorily to be wrong, and neither when it comes to your ally country or friend country's eyes is it wrong as well. For you it is justified. So look for a justification, look for some sort of justification. You have to defend yourself. Sir, could we raise a question to delegate or country directly? No, you have to pass everything via the chairperson. The chairperson is a facilitator. Because if everybody starts doing everything directly, then it's going to become like, fish market. Executive board is moderators. They know how a committee should flow, how discussion should be, how communication should go. So run it by the chairpersons in your committee. They are the ones who will help you appropriately. Don't be scared. They're nice people, and they are the one. Their work, their job is to facilitate your discussion. Phoenix underwater. Are you in Sanskriti right now? Absolutely. I'm very much here. It's a wonderful conference room. I'm sitting in, getting a chance to speak with all of you. So, yes, I'm right now in the school as we speak. Like the video. What? Devashu, you might try to fight against it and say you are trying to make efforts. No country is perfect. Exactly, Arun. That's what I said. Dress codes, please. Dress code: first day Western formal, second day Nepali tradition, third day Western formal once again. Chirayu asks in Superhero Conclave, I've answered your question. You are the characters, not the delegates of the characters. You are the characters. Will we get the names for EP? Yes, Arun, the EP is going to be announced tomorrow in the inauguration ceremony, and they will be coming up on stage as well. So you will get the EP reveal that will be done tomorrow. Phoenix is like, ask Prashant, bro. How do we tell a GSL? Samrat Dhakal. Samrat, basically, GSL is what? Introductory speech. You start with a salutation. Remember, it's like addressing people for the first time. It's like introducing your country, introducing yourself, introducing what your country thinks. That is what a GSL is. So, when you meet somebody for the first time, Samrat, what do? You greet them, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, correct? Similarly, you will start with greeting all the delegates in your committee. That greetings to all the delegates of the whatever committee that you are in. My name is so and so, and I am the delegate of so and so. As you all know, this agenda, whichever agenda that you're doing, speak a few lines about it. How important that agenda is, why we're discussing that agenda, how it affects us as a global family. Then explain your stance, saying that keeping these few things in mind about the agenda, what your country stance is. Are you for, against, or neutral? Finally, justify briefly, very briefly, why you are for, against, or neutral in the agenda, and then yield your time to question answers, or to the chair, or to comments of your choice. Chirayu and Pemba are spamming the living life out of me. What did I do to you guys, man? Shall we spam the chat? Phoenix underwater? No, you don't spam the chat, please. Pemba, really, we've placed all the orders. It is done. We are through. Will there be two, three GSL in one day? Yash Agrawal, I doubt it. I think one GSL should be sufficient for the whole conference. You all will get engaged in the cycle that I told you, moderated caucus, unmoderated caucus. That is where you basically get, what do you call that, engaged with. So GSL mostly happens just once. Finally, I can use the chat. Where did it go? Why, someone banned you out, bro? I'm Shao. Finally, I can see the chat. Sushov, your question, how do we do intro like I explained to you? Salutation, greetings. Introduce your name if you want, no problem. Introduce your country, what your country believes in, what your country's position is on the agenda, and a couple of justification. That's about it. Animation MC. What if we don't have a formal wear? Come in school uniform. That works too. No problem. No, NGA Wang is GSL mandatory for the beginning of every session. No, GSL is not mandatory for the beginning of every session. It just runs. It just continuously running. Every two, three speakers in GSL, once they finish, chairperson will ask any points or motions on the floor. You will be mostly in a cycle of moderated caucus and unmoderated caucus. So just have like one GSL speech that you need to give. So that's how it works. Who's this Phoenix person? ZXT edits us. Bro, even I don't know, but he's underwater for sure. Adit Adhikari, good question. How many moderated caucus in one day? Whose committee is it? Is it my committee? Is your committee? Is it my discussion? Is it your discussion? Is it your group discussion or my decision? There is no limit. You can have two moderated caucus, four moderated caucus, five moderated caucus, 10 mod caucus, doesn't really matter. So, moderated caucus, you can have as many as you like. There's no problem at all. Uh, Depends on your committee, depends on what they're discussing, depends on who votes on it. So there's no like given number that you have to have these many or you should not have these many or something like that. Devanshi Agrawal, are we allowed to use pronouns during the sessions? Yes, bro. You can use pronouns during the sessions. I mean, just don't get personal, with the pronouns. Don't remember that you and your country, you're representing your country as a representative of that country. So that means that your remarks should be related on a country to country level, not on a personal level. If you're communicating it from a first person's perspective and using personal pronouns, it's fine. But if you're going to use personal pronouns to agitate, aggravate, and digress from the main agenda, then don't use personal pronouns. That's the reason why some people don't say use personal pronouns because people get carried away, in the heated debate and all. It becomes more like our country. I'm so sorry. So you avoid using personal pronouns if you feel that it is going to make you get personal during your conversation in the this thing, right? So that's how you should go about it. Then next question: can we be controversial in the debate? The key to diplomacy is controversy. Phoenix underwater. Without the this thing, what do you call that? Without like everything is controversial in the world, right? I mean, your belief and your country's belief is justified to you, but is controversial to someone with a different ideology. So debate is naturally controversial, right? So how can you have debate if there is no controversy? So yep, that is what do you call that? When are the committee sessions going to start? When are the committee sessions going to start? The committee sessions are going to start as per the final conference itinerary, 8:30 a.m. on 29th. That is Friday, this coming Friday, 8:30 a.m. is when you're going to have your first committee session. You are deleting messages. I did not know you could do that in YouTube. It's my first time. How can I present or give answer to questions I have been asked? Just speak freely, speak openly, speak how I speak to you. You don't need to overthink things. In case you don't know the information or you don't have the answer at the moment, you just tell the chairperson that I want to get, appropriate information before I answer this. Can you please allow me 2 minutes and, permission to appeal to the chair? Tell this to your chairperson, and chairperson will give you. Don't worry about it. Rohan Raj Shah, what is the position you are giving me for Pakistan in UNODC? Rohan, you're going to have a lot of fun when it comes to representing Pakistan in UNODC, because it is known for a lot of a center of drug trafficking in Southeast Asia as well. Now, if we are USA and UNODC, what points can we use? Now, see, this is a research you need to do yourself. Okay, USA has a strict no drug policy, but USA, from my limited understanding itself, is having a major drug problem of fentanyl as we speak today as well. So, even if you are in USA and you condemn the issue and point fingers to countries like Pakistan, you've not got your things sorted in your own country till now. So yeah, so it's again a very difficult what do you call it, portfolio to have, because this drug use is super high in the USA right now, especially in San Francisco and a few other states as well. So USA is quite a concern when it comes to UNODC. Being such a developed country and a P5 country, they should be able to handle the situation better, because unlike Pakistan, which is a developing country, USA is a developed country, right? So there will be naturally more expectation from your country. Sir, could be in middle of any delegate if anyone is raising a question towards your country? No, you need to rephrase that language in English for me, because I did not understand the word that you said. Who's going to be in the room except us? Phoenix, do you believe in spirits? Just a joke. There's going to be your chairpersons, both your chairpersons. I might roam around a little bit as well. And yeah, that's about it. Maybe occasionally, some, faculty will be roaming around the place, might just come to just have a look at a discussion for about a couple of minutes. If you're not comfortable, you can, request them to leave and they will. But it's just you, other boys and girls of your age, and the chairpersons who are also your age. That's it. Phoenix underwater, what if I don't have Western formals? School uniform is a great alternative, no problem. Sir, could we answer a question of any delegate if anyone is raising a question towards your country? Sir, could we answer a question of any delegate if someone is. It's like a riddle. Sir, could we answer a question of any delegate if anyone is raising a question towards your country? I'm still not understanding your question. If you want to ask questions in the committee, then the times you can ask it is one, you can yield to questions. Two, you can open a motion to open a open question answer session. These are the only times you can ask questions to another delegate. In challenge, you can question, but they don't need to answer. But in question answer session and in yield to questions, people need to answer. Uh, SHX ZE edits. June Amy is like yo yo. SHX edits. Will our parents come tomorrow? I don't think so. We don't want parents out here. We want you out here for the inauguration ceremony, and that's about it. Piece of cake 2.0. I wouldn't mind a bite, but nonetheless, one second. Keep losing the chat, man. Just a minute. Piece of cake. When can we submit our position papers? There are no position papers in this conference. I have emphasized this before. How do you make alliance with another country? Kalsang plays. That's a really good question. Alliances are formed naturally. They're formed, you could say, organically because of similar ideologies. similar thought processes, like your GCC countries in the Middle East. They're natural allies, ideological allies. You have economical and trade allies who basically benefit from trading with each other, so they're friends because it helps economic ties. And you have, how do you say, political leverage ties, allies as well, also, where basically enemy of my friend the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of ally as well. So your alliances are formed naturally, and as you go about your conversations in committee, you'll realize that there are certain people who, are your friends and support you, and you also feel the need to support them, and certain people who don't support you and you don't feel the need to support them. So that's how alliance essentially works. Where do we ask questions? Piece of cake, where you are asking right now in the chat box. Sir, can you explain point of information? Soren already did explain point of information, but I will again. And the last time I will explain it today. It is basically any factual inaccuracy, any false information shared in the committee. If there's another delegate that does that and you think that it's false information, they're lying or they're giving wrong information, raise your placard, say point of information, highlight what the fact should be, and make sure you have credible proof and evidence from credible sources to back up your accusation when it comes to point of information. If you have credible proof and you're actually right, you will get plus points. If you are wrong, then what's going to happen is you're going to get minus points for sure. Piece of cakes like, sir, help. Where are you? I'm coming. I'm on my way. Phoenix, from which school are you? Sir, when do we submit a piece of cake? I've answered this question. There are no position papers. Uh, you can ask questions in his Viber, maybe. No, Sabin, you do not ask me questions in my Viber. I asked who you are. I'm a teacher. What is a position paper? A position paper is non-existent, so you don't need to understand. Bless you, sir. Thank you, my nani. Bless you too. What does personal pronouns mean? This is English language edits. I, you, me, he, she, it are all personal pronouns. Kalsang Pays answered your question on how to make an alliance already and its nature. Devyanshi Agarwal is something like organ trafficking, which you can't really be for or against, and it is quite common in your country. What should you do? No, Devanshi, organ trafficking is a major issue. So, there are these really poor African countries that don't have money to support their families. So they quite literally donate and kind of sell their organs to get money to support their families and things like that. And these, it's like called mafia done. And people bid on these organs because if you register yourself, in government portals in any country in the world, including India, uh, by the time you actually get a chance to, to essentially get your organ, it's been like you're probably going to die. So it's a very major thing, and I think you should read more about it, because sometimes I feel when I see the stories of people who have like a 5-year-old kid who needs food to eat and they can live without a kidney and they're giving away one kidney, is that justified or is that not justified is one thing. So it's a very very multi-perspective thing. There are places where it is a business at large and supports economies, and it is a billion-dollar industry. So read a lot more about it. A lot of documentaries on this too, Devyanshi, on YouTube. Maybe you should check it out. Sir, how to know if I am for, against, and neutral? You can either be for, against, or neutral. You cannot be and. But what you can do, Pratham, is read about your agenda. Go to Google and ask that question to Google, or go to Google and ask a question to ChatGPT, saying, I am representing so and so country in an MUN conference. This is the agenda. Am I for, against, or neutral? Please explain why. Chat GPT will give you detailed reason as to why you are. Are you an EB? I used to be an EB. Now I'm an organizer. So that's the next step after EB. So maybe I will see you there soon someday, Arun. You stated that during a GSL, a delegate is able to understand who their allies and enemies are. So, what about the other 2 days where GSL is unavailable? GSL is never unavailable, it is always there. It's just that you won't need it more than once as such. In case you need it, chairperson will naturally facilitate it. So, don't worry. There's no requirement or unavailability of anything. See, it's your committee, Nagawang. You decide. Completely your choice. Annalise Bimali. Hi, hi Annalise. Nice to see you. Sabin Adhikari, what is a GSL? General Speakers List. You can watch my video again from scratch. I think during the 12th or 14th minute, I had explained what GSL is, Sabin. So, in detail, so you can have a look in that. In both study guide and Google. Should I introduce myself as Biraj Bhakta Shrestha if I am from Vyavasthapikas? Answer yes, Prasanna. You are Biraj Bhakta Shrestha ji in this. Sir, how to make an alliance? Kalsang spamming me. What's an alliance? Us underwater. Underwater. They're called blocks, right? People who are the same team, same objectives, same goals forms an alliance. How many people there in one committee? Really good question. Maybe a maximum of 40, a minimum of 15 is what you could expect in a committee. Sir, how to know if I am neutral or for or against? Pratham, I've answered this question. Edis is getting Edis is getting mad. In caps lock, person is shouting, Google it. Oh, ho, is a lovely question. Aikar Mala, how can I speak about country without researching it? You don't. You just sit in the conference then. You must research. It's a good thing to research. There's no harm in researching. Spend some time researching. Mainali is going to be representing Saudi Arabia in UN Women. How worse can it get? Mainali, you're going to have a good time. I'm going to come and watch your committee because I know there's a lot of people who are going to be on your back in that committee. So it's going to be fun and it's going to be interesting, right? It's not only about representing a country, it's about how you carry yourself when you are under the pump as well. Arun is making fun of Mainali, at least not in Iran. 1 second. Okay. Yes, sorry, I just got a little distracted. Um, Phoenix underwater. How do you find allies in a conference? I've answered this question. It's natural through GSL, through interaction, through lobbying sessions. Tomorrow in the opening ceremony, when you meet everybody, you can find out who your allies are. Sabin Adhikari, please look at your notes when you're giving a speech. Please look at Google. Please look at the internet. Please look at your documents. Look at whatever you like, Sabin, while you're giving a speech or giving an address, because it is not necessary. It is not necessary to what do you call that? How do you say? Engage, by hearting or mugging up something. So speak freely. There's no problem. Moving on to the next question. Will there be chairpersons for every committee? Phoenix Underwater, yes, of course, there will be chairpersons for every committee. They need to facilitate your discussion. Each committee has 2 chairpersons. We have 15 committees, which means we have an executive board of 30 members at our conference, which is pretty cool. Binu Basukala, will there be debate tomorrow? No, tomorrow's not going to be debate, but tomorrow when you kind of meet everybody, greet everybody, make new friends, find out who your allies are, and enjoy the show, like I told you. Adit Adhikari, what if I'm talking about something true about my country and somebody points out I'm giving false claims and shows a valid website which has false information? Adit Adhikari, then you challenge, then you open this thing to challenge, then it's a open debate between both of you. That is the reason. Because of such reasons only I have kept this tool called challenge. Kalsang plays. I have already answered about this thing. Yeah, how we create an alliance. How many times you'll ask the same question? See, now I lost the entire this thing. Can we make notes while giving a speech? Can we look at our notes? Having answered the question there. Will there be chairperson that also have answered? Do we have to write paragraph about agenda and position paper? No, Pratham, there is nothing like position paper. Forget about it for this conference. What am I talking about? Something in my country? Can someone tell me how to make an alliance? What God country? Devanshi, like, how do we properly accuse another country or something? What do you mean by properly accuse? Your accusations have to be proper, otherwise, you are going to be in a problem. So, there's no real, you need to have credible source of information and credible information. My Nani said, I don't think our capital is working in front of anything. What if we talking about information that someone gives false? Pranisha, what if we talking about a country and someone gives a false information? Pranish, point of information. Mainali, not point of order. Point of order is procedural inaccuracy. Point of information is factual inaccuracy. There is a difference. Can we open moderated caucus in GSL? Of course you can. You can open moderate caucus at any time you want. You can open a motion anytime you want. You don't need to wait for anything. Only thing is, it needs to be voted upon. Prasanna, once you finish speaking, say, I would like to yield the remainder of my time to whichever way you'd like to yield. No problem. No, no, no. Mainali got a shout out. She's getting excited. Yash, it is a solution. You go write the problem. How should a resolution format be? I have explained this: preambulatory clauses, actionable clauses. Preambulatory clauses are moderated caucus topics. Actionable clauses are the solutions in your working papers. Your chairpersons will have a projector and a computer in their respective committee rooms. They will explain to you in person how to write it when the time comes for it as well. Pratham, no is there is no what do you call that position paper in the conference. Clips with a question mark is where is Kalsang? Clips Kalsang has gone to find his allies. Which country is Diwan Rai give? What country is Diwan Rai give? I didn't understand the question. Which classroom are you in? Aryan Sharma, I'm in conference room. Kalsam now has decided to stop finding allies and start attacking his enemies. So generally, how do you attack your enemies? With knowledge, power, reason, rational debate, discussion, deliberation, and accurate information. That's how you attack your enemies in an MUN conference. Which classroom? Aryan Sharma, I am streaming from conference room. Can we use Chat GPT? Roshna, yes, you can use Chat GPT. No problem. I don't see any reason why not. So, blatant user. What interesting channel names you guys have got. So, blatant user. What do you call that? Everybody in this conference is Nepali. And everybody speaks Nepali in your committee, including your chairpersons. And in case they don't, one of the chairpersons will translate in English, so it should not be a problem. All right. Are the chairpersons allowed to give punishments if someone is acting bad? Yeah, it's called censure, and you will be censured not by just a chair, not by the chairperson, but by the committee because it's like a collaborative thing, right? So it's not like an individual thing. Anyhow, with this, we are basically going to be coming out done with the today's training session, our final one. Kalsang is figuring out how to attack his enemies and how to form alliances. I'm going to be seeing all of you all tomorrow, 3 p.m. at our registrations, where we inaugurate the very special 6th edition of Sanskriti Model United Nations. God bless you all. See you tomorrow. Namaste.